Congratulations, you found the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
You're lucky to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
Well, look who decided to show.
You were supposed to be here 4 hours ago.
Was I? So, I'm the tardy one? Well, maybe I shouldn't have come at all. Jerk off!
Live from the Twin Cities.
I'm just joking with you. Let's do this.
It's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Here's a comment card. Please mail it in when I am done.
Just go to your boss?
No, it goes to me. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Well, let's take a look at what we're dealing with here.
Let's get this hit show started.
Hello? Are we?
I can hear you.
You must be able to relate to this, Chuck, because obviously you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, very much so.
I feel like that was a pointed shot at somebody.
It was a teeny bit of sarcasm. All right, so here we go. It's Thursday. It's the Twin Cities Hit Show. You were wondering where that came from?
Mm-hmm.
Dumb and Dumber.
Cable Guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
He kind of played the same character in
Yeah.
both, didn't he?
Really? Those two.
The range.
Just
well,
those two.
with a healthy, disturbing, evil streak going
Yeah.
underneath him, though, in the Cable Guy.
That's right.
Yeah, that was an underrated movie that I've seen it a couple times since it first came out. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's disturbing.
Matthew Broderick's
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
That was a good one.
Every time some friend posts pictures from medieval times, I always think of that movie. You know that.
Oh yeah, there's that scene.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Welcome, and it's Janine Garofalo.
Oh yeah. That's
Welcome
right.
to medieval times. Yeah.
Okay, seriously, the sound here is goofy.
I thought we had it all checked out.
Oh, we did, but your music's coming in loud and the voices are coming in quiet.
I know that.
So, yeah.
I didn't even hear myself at the top there. That's why I was like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, perfectionist. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Chuck.
Well, someone played Let's Turn Out the Lights and throw all the microphones and headsets and volume knobs around.
That game.
Like, yeah.
That's a great
I'm
game.
gonna start getting here at like 6:30 and just playing Untangle the Chords. It's fun. It's fun.
You getting here early?
I'm saying I could get here at 6:30 and start. No, that's never going to happen.
You guys are. We're watching. There's a feed on the monitor here. Breaking news. First brain treatment is this afternoon for President Jimmy Carter. So his cancer has spread. But you guys weren't aware that he was dealing with cancer.
I knew that.
Huh? I had no idea.
Knew that. It was just Chuck.
Here's a synopsis of what's going on.
Support is pouring in from around the world this morning for former President Jimmy Carter. The 90-year-old Nobel laureate revealed yesterday
90.
that cancer is spreading through his body.
In a statement posted to the Carter Center website, he wrote, "Recent liver surgery revealed that I have cancer that now is in other parts of my body. I will be rearranging my schedule as necessary so I can undergo treatment by physicians at Emory Healthcare." In his new memoir, A Full Life, Mr. Carter wrote that his father, brother, and 2 sisters died of the disease. He had just completed a book tour and recently recorded a note to self for CBS This Morning, speaking to a 12-year-old Jimmy Carter.
You will face challenges and opportunities throughout your life, but don't worry. So many people who want to help you along the way.
Georgia. He's a good guy. And he has done a hell of a lot outside of the presidency. The whole Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, started right
I
where he
mean,
got
we
it
take
in
that for
Oklahoma.
granted now. That's been around forever.
Yeah.
No. He's just got a great heart. Some presidents disappear and, I don't know, paint pictures of themselves in the bathtub. Others do things.
Paint pictures of themselves. In the
You
bathroom?
haven't seen George W.'s paintings?
No.
They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad.
I've heard rumblings that it's, you know.
Sometimes it's nice to just see a president just go off and be done and
Yeah.
go off into the sunset and paint pictures because you're like, I don't really care about what you have to say anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. They have the world stage to do things, including Bill Clinton, who's done so much for AIDS research and charities and fundraising.
And Hillary's career.
Well, we'll see if that happens. If he becomes,
I think it's going great.
If he becomes the first man. But, yeah, Jimmy has been very active. And, yeah, when you're 90.
Yeah. I can't believe they're actually treating it at this point.
Yeah.
They're saying all liver cancer believed to be gone. It was diagnosed as a melanoma, which scares the crap out of me.
Right.
Oh, because you've got that dark skin. Yeah.
Red hair and freckles, nah, I should have no problem.
You'll be fine.
Get some baby oil out there and just soak it in.
Get some tinfoil and cardboard and lay down there.
When you were younger, did you lay out in the sun, though? Did you try?
Because I was dating a gal who would lay out, so that was our...
So you did?
Yeah, and I'm like...
Do you want to lay out? Yeah.
So you're going to let some woman tell you what to do.
Well, you should see her. She was amazing.
That's funny, though, because I was talking to a friend, like, when we were in high school. I was like, what do you guys want to do? I don't know. You want to lay out? And we would just lay out. We didn't have pools or anything. We just laid out.
Lay out.
Yeah.
And clicky lounge chairs.
You know, and you crank the REO Speedwagon and whatever.
Sweet. Yeah.
That was a perfect summer.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of sunblock, you would put on oil to enhance the rays.
Mm-hmm.
It was the opposite of sunblock.
And remember those long sheets you could buy that looked like tinfoil? That
yeah.
you put on your layout chair?
Yeah.
And it would just attract.
Fry away, baby.
See, I have the same complexion as him. However, I was aware of it or afraid of the sun. So never. And I'd never tried
I have this weird mix. My mom was fair and freckly, and my dad's really tan, so it's like I get the freckles, but I can still get dark, but it's probably still not good for me.
We're going to miss you.
I was out from sunup to sundown in the 70s and never wore block. Don't ever remember putting lotion
It's probably going to
on.
work out well for you.
Do you go yearly for a scan?
I just started to, yeah, and
I
I had some stuff removed on my face and neck, and yeah. In fact, you can see that Rusty has cancer report that I did on the Rusty Gave Me Review page, and it gives.
Did you actually have cancer removed, or was it precancerous?
No, it was
really?
diagnosed as guess what?
Basal cell carcinomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started to, and God, now I'm bad again. Now that I'm having this conversation. Putting on lotion in the morning right away, the suntan lotion. I'm like, this is great. It feels like I'm on vacation every day now.
You smell coconutty.
Yeah.
It's nice to be around you.
That's nice to be.
It's like
but
being on
now,
vacation.
he has 4 very small cancer spots on the brain. Jimmy Carter.
He's so upbeat, and we're watching the live feed here. He is so upbeat. I give that guy some credit.
I had the honor of interviewing him, and it was great. I met him in person.
My uncle was in the Secret Service and drove him around.
Really?
Mm-hmm. In the 80s, probably late 80s.
Did they have lots of peanuts and Billy beer?
Of course. Mm-hmm.
So, good luck, Mr. President. Yeah, he just did look at him. 90 years old. He's walking around like there ain't nothing going on. Hey, we had Kelly Clarkson singing on the show yesterday. Mm-hmm. Did you hear what happened last night in concert?
No.
Negative.
Well, here, I'll play a moment here just real quick. This was last night in California. She's trying to sing that she breaks up. So now she's verklempt.
I was not planning on announcing this, but I'm like, totally pregnant. So
Totally pregnant.
Oh my God. Totally.
That'll make you cry.
Yeah. So evidently she was in the middle of some heartwarming song, and it was really hitting home to her.
He doesn't have to have an excuse for crying while you're pregnant. It's just pretty much kind of what you do. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's how I did too. That's what I did too.
And real quick before we get to our guests and get to the business at hand, I went to because I do doing movie reviews on WCCO Mid Mornings with Jason DeRusha every Friday. I was a little late to the party because I was busy, and part of me really had no interest in going to see Straight Outta Compton.
And?
What's NWA stand for?
I mean,
No whites allowed.
I am not a fan of rap music, and the trailer I saw originally, I immediately shut down and went, this just looks like a bad after-school special. It's probably going to be cheesy. It was awesome.
It looks.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either, and one of the 89.3 did a weekend of Straight Outta Compton dedication, a marathon of this stuff, and I'm kind of interested.
Well, I mean, I'd heard, F for the Police. It's a podcast. Fuck the Police, and I've heard the songs, but I was like, couldn't relate to it.
Right.
But now the way the movie is very well done, very well directed. It's 2.5 hours. It was awesome.
That's what I've heard. All good things.
And now there was a shooting in Atlanta?
No.
At one of the showings?
No, not one of the showings. No, just another cop shooting a black guy.
Okay.
And there was a bit of a riot and what have you. The latest in the Get in Line, Ferguson, Baltimore,
Right.
Yeah.
Atlanta. So the movie is more relevant, or not more, but it's very relevant. Yeah, just as. Because the story takes place in the 90s and the beginning of MTV and all that stuff, but it's still going on. So don't tell anyone I just gave you my review, because I'm going to do the review tomorrow.
Okay. On Friday, mid-mornings.
WCCO mid-mornings. And, of course, on the Rusty Gave Me review, we're actually going to hear from the players. Ice Cube. I have more respect for Ice Cube now. I had no idea.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's not a dynamic actor, but he's good.
No.
Well, speaking of getting in trouble with the law, Chuck,
send lawyers, guns, and money.
Introduce our guest.
Jennifer Casanova from Casanova Law.
Good morning.
Are you serving papers?
Right up on the mic. There you go.
Are you serving papers to anyone this morning?
Yeah.
We all got a little nervous.
Yeah.
Shifty-eyed.
She pays people to do that. She's an attorney. So, tell us just very briefly about that. So you do defense work now?
Right now I do solely criminal defense work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How can you do that? Oh, my God.
What about that case that was just settled here where the guy shot his neighbor? It took the jury like 3 hours to decide. But
Zumberg?
It's funny because a lot of people think that the amount of time that a jury is out makes a difference. It really doesn't.
So,
I had a jury, when I was a prosecutor, I had a jury come back in less than 45 minutes. And when I was a defense attorney, I had a jury take, on a murder case, I had a jury take 7 days. And, it really just depends.
But can't you feel going in like, okay, I really don't have a chance here, and this should be a quick decision? Or can you go in and go, I don't know, this could go either way, and that's when you have the 12 angry men?
Yeah. I mean, it's so. One of my mentors when I was a prosecutor tried a case to a mock jury, had two juries, and tried the same case, had both juries there, and one acquitted and one convicted.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. And
God bless America.
I know.
Exactly.
So it's really a crapshoot,
Yeah.
and so
That's good to know.
I know. Doesn't that give you faith in
Yeah.
the justice system?
No, hell no.
I
Well,
know.
not the jury system so much.
Well, the jury. Yeah.
Don't you ever? What is your opinion? Do you think there should be professional juries?
It's really hard to say because you have the jury nullification where, juries can, if they don't like what the law says and they just want to vote not guilty, legally they can.
Yeah.
They can say, well,
That's
screw
reassuring.
this. I know, isn't that? They can just say, screw this, not guilty.
I put a lot of work into this case as the prosecutor. Come on.
Right. And when I was a prosecutor, I didn't want anybody to know that.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a defense attorney, I want to blog about it and let everybody know the fact
Sure.
that, this case. Well, and of course, when you have, someone goes out and hurts your child and you want to go out and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of case where you want to argue that to the jury and you want the jury to say, well, they technically met all the elements, but I, as a reasonable person, don't think that they should be convicted. So those are the kind of cases where there's jury nullification. And
Sure.
But the thing is that as a defense attorney, you can't tell a jury that. You can't argue jury nullification. And there's actually kind of a funny case out there where a man is being prosecuted for passing out flyers telling people about jury nullification in front of a courthouse. And so he's being prosecuted for tampering with jurors.
Oh.
Well, then what do? You can't really give the jurors these flyers and say, hey, look what this guy did.
Yeah.
Because essentially you're telling the
Sure.
people, jury nullification.
Now, are you in trouble right now for telling us all this?
Well, let's see what kind of charges you get.
Yeah. That's got to help to be a prosecutor and then become a defense lawyer. I mean, right?
I think so. I think it was.
It's kind of looking at the other guy's poker hand.
Right.
To a certain extent.
Right.
We get to know all the judges. You get to know the prosecutors.
No, I just mean the technique and what's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was a great experience. And it's funny because as a prosecutor, I was essentially thrown in the water and told swim.
Yeah.
I mean, my very first jury case, I literally had 45 minutes from the time I was handed the case to picking a jury.
Whoa.
One of my friends was, he had 2 cases that had to be tried that day, and they didn't want to continue one of them. And I was so excited. I mean, I wanted to be a prosecutor since the time I was a little kid. I mean, I remember being, 8 years old and trying cases to my couch full of stuffed animals.
No, that's not geeky at all. Not at all.
No.
That's fantastic.
But they were guilty as hell.
Yeah.
So, my dad was a cop.
My G.I. Joe did not yank off Barbie's head. It was not G.I. Joe.
He was a dick,
And some of those stuffed animal juries are pretty similar to what you're dealing with now, I would imagine.
In Ramsey County? No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, it was great.
Well, how did that first case go then?
She was found guilty.
Nice. Whoa.
Yeah. She keyed someone's car. And I had a witness who said 100% that was her. So it was great.
Yeah.
It's trying cases is absolutely one of my favorite things. I really enjoy it. So.
Are you able to go to, because I'm a movie guy, go to movies and watch movies about lawyers and trial scenes and enjoy them? Or are you always like, no way?
You can't handle the truth.
It drives my husband insane to watch legal dramas with me.
With you.
Yeah. Because I'm constantly, they can't do that. There wasn't a warrant. And, that's totally not going to fly.
Or just the way it's so dramatic, where they walk up to the witness and hang by the witness. And I didn't think they were supposed to do that. Are they supposed to they can't really approach until?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay, it always gets real.
you can't. All
right. And so then it looks super exciting, and then you actually watch a real one. You're like,
well, A Few Good Men.
That's totally it. It's the system is so slow.
Yeah.
Really? There isn't a lot of Al Pacino yelling in a.
And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution is not going to get that man today. No.
He's defending
because
this guy.
I'm going to get him. My client, the Honorable Henry T. Fleming, should go right to fucking jail. The son of a bitch is guilty.
That's never happened?
You ever feel like doing that?
That man is a slime.
That did happen when my client didn't pay me.
If he's allowed to go free, then something really wrong is going on. When you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order.
I love that movie.
Good Lord.
What movie was that?
Isn't it in Justice for All, Al Pacino?
Yes.
Yeah.
My other favorite one is My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
with
best.
Herman Munster.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Judge Herman Munster.
Well, here's the one Chuck mentioned. Hold on.
Did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question.
I'll answer it.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
Anyway, great scene.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good.
You can't handle. One last one, and this is my favorite, I think. It's the heartstring one with Philadelphia. Denzel Washington, who was first homophobic to a dying Tom Hanks, who's a lawyer.
Are you a good lawyer, Andrew?
I'm an excellent lawyer.
What makes you an excellent lawyer?
I love the law. I know the law. I excel at practicing.
What do you love about the law, Andrew?
Many things. What I love the most about the law?
Yes.
is that every now and again, not often, but occasionally, you get to be a part of justice being done. That really is quite a thrill when that happens.
Can you relate?
And actually, that is why I do it. I don't do this. I mean, I don't know if you saw. I drive a 2008 old police interceptor. Yeah, I do this
just to scare people.
No,
it's a cop. Oh no, it's not. God, I hate those people.
To drum up business.
Yeah, I do it because I love it. And it's funny. I was in a really bad car accident, and I had to take some time off. And I thought, God, I'm never going to be able to get back to doing this. And every once in a while, you get that case, and it reminds you, I do this because I love it. And it's so much different than when I was a prosecutor. When you're a prosecutor and you walk in the door, you get respect. And as a defense attorney, when you walk in, people actually treat you much differently. And it was really
In what
hard
way?
to adjust
What do you mean?
to. Well, when you're a prosecutor, people
You're associated
will...
with a crook.
Right.
You're the...
Right. Right. And people often say to me, how can you defend these people?
How can you defend these people?
Right. Well, and it's not, you know what? Everybody deserves a defense. And I know that sounds cheesy, and I know it sounds...
Would you defend Jared the subway molester?
Well, that's interesting. It's not about whether or not someone is guilty or innocent. It's about whether or not the state proved their case. And
really, but because what if you know that, okay, God, I did a great job. Look, I got this child molester off. He's not going to jail, but God damn it, he's probably going to molest again.
Well, the thing is your job isn't always to quote unquote get someone off. Well, especially in his case.
Yeah.
But
we should use a different
pun
term.
intended, yeah. Yeah.
Because
can he beat the system repeatedly? No, that doesn't
yeah.
work either.
Because your job, I mean, sometimes the person coming to you says, you know what, I did it. And I and at that point...
Aren't you like, la, 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 don't.
Yeah.
No.
I want to sleep tonight.
Oh, here's the worst. I had a case where we're picking a jury, and we're back in the holding cell, and the guy says to me, okay, we've spent, I'm not kidding. We've spent over 6 months preparing this defense. And
what was he charged with?
Well, that might give a little too much away,
right,
but it was a very, very, very serious
Does
case.
his name rhyme with Chuck?
It was speeding 30 over.
Let's call him
Muck.
Doc.
Okay. Not related to Chuck at all. Yes,
We've
go on.
spent over 6 months preparing this case, and the whole basis of preparing this case was that this person was not there. We're back. We've already picked half the jury. And he says to me, I have to tell you something.
Please don't.
Don't.
I'm
You're
looking
hoping-
at him going, la, 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 la.
Don't say anything.
But I hope he told me my fly is down.
He tells me I was there,
Oh, God.
but I didn't do it.
Oh,
The other guy did.
Okay.
Right.
So I look at him and I said, that changes the whole dynamic. Okay, you have to testify against your friend here. And he says, I can't. I just can't. And I said, well, we're going to have to change, everything. So at that point, our strategy is to mitigate the damages.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to completely, he knew that we weren't completely getting him, trying to get the charges dismissed.
There you go. Nice job.
And so sometimes it's not about getting them dismissed. It's about reducing the damages to the person. And that's the reason why defense work is so interesting to me, because when I was a prosecutor, everybody's a number. You don't actually see the person. And as defense work, it's a person sitting in front of you asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like it.
So have you had the opposite where you know 100% this person's not guilty, but you couldn't get him acquitted?
Yes. I have had people that, and to be honest, those are the cases that I lose sleep about.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the cases where I wake up in the middle of the night and
I bet.
I work my ass off. But the best cases are the ones where I know they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And to hear the prosecutor dismiss or get a not guilty, I mean, that's why I do my job. I had a case where the client was accused of raping a relative, and there was no way he did it. And we spent over a year on his case. And when it came down, we were ready for trial. He just couldn't admit to doing it. And I wouldn't blame him.
No.
I mean, would you want it? I mean, then you have to register as a sexual predator, and it affects you the rest of your life. And finally, after investigation and years, the charges were dismissed. And I'm telling you, that was the best feeling ever.
Sure.
So that's why I do my job.
Yep.
Because there are those gold mine cases that you really change someone's life.
Well, do we want a Jared update? Do we care anymore?
It's always interesting.
All right, here we go.
Good morning. The front page of Indiana's largest newspaper says it all. A secret and sordid life is revealed. Jared Fogle now faces prison, fines, and divorce. Investigators say 14 minors were victimized.
Hey, aren't you sickness and molestation? Aren't you supposed to stay there?
Jared Fogle, one of America's best-known TV pitchmen, had no comment as he left court Wednesday. But U.S. Attorney Josh Minkler didn't mince words.
Minkler?
This is about using wealth, status, and secrecy to illegally exploit children.
Teriyaki
Investigators reviewed nearly 48,000 images and almost 3,400 videos, some secretly recorded by Russell Taylor, Fogle's friend and the only paid employee of the now-defunct Jared Foundation.
My wife, by the way, saw the title of yesterday's show, Rusty's Confession Goes Wrong. What did you do? And I queued it up before. She's just shaking her head. Did that come off bad? It was all jokey jokes.
Oh, that was a joke.
Anyway.
Russell Taylor was sexually exploiting a 14-year-old girl. At that time, Fogle chose to receive and repeatedly view child pornography involving that 14-year-old girl.
From the guy who's heading up his charity for children.
Right.
Great.
Fogle admitted that he repeatedly traveled from Indiana to New York to engage in commercial sex acts with victims he knew to be children.
Sex acts? What's that?
A 12
Is that like
prostitution?
Paid? Yeah. That's called commercial sex act?
And yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was clear, his foundation was to help childhood obesity, probably to help him skinny up so it'd be hotter for him.
Oh, boy.
Gross.
document outlined Fogle's crimes, including his travel to New York, texting one of the underage girls, offering to pay a finder's fee if she could get him a 16-year-old girl, while stating that the younger the girl, the better.
Like a headhunter.
Deals accepted by the court. Fogle will pay $1.4 million in restitution, $100,000 to each victim. Jeremy Margolis is Fogle's attorney.
He knows that restitution can't undo the damage that he's done, but he will do all in his power to try to make it right.
But I'm a creep.
So how would you handle this case?
Mitigate.
That's one of those that you mitigate. Well, it sounds like his attorney did a good job getting it in and getting it out, because he fled the same day that the charges were filed. It sounds like.
Which makes you think, what the hell else did he do when he settles that quickly?
Or is he just like, finally, I've been carrying this dark secret. I just want to come clean. I
lean towards what the hell else did he do?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there was definitely a plea deal going on.
Oh, yeah.
He had an attorney, and he had a lot of money to get a good attorney.
Sure. Yeah.
So
not no more.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people in the public eye doing dark, dirty things, how about that Josh Dugar?
Well, I vaguely heard this. What is he doing now?
Oh, boy. Well, he was the one who evidently molested a couple of his sisters, and mom and dad were like, oh, you chucklehead.
Yeah.
You stop touching them inappropriately.
You silly pants.
Your mom and I are going to have 10 more kids. You behave yourself. No more molesting.
Don't touch those.
Yeah. Here's what happened when the Ashley Madison names were released. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Josh Duggar reportedly has 2 Ashley Madison accounts.
Gawker
One wasn't
reports
enough.
the 19 Kids and Counting star is among the 37 million AshleyMadison.com users who had their identities exposed in a massive data breach earlier this summer. And the 27-year-old allegedly had 2 paid accounts linked to the adult site for people seeking extramarital affairs. The billing address on the first account matches Josh's grandmother's house in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The birth date on the account is February 3rd, 1988, which is exactly 1 month off from Josh's actual birthday, March 3rd,
You
1988.
trickster.
The second account address is linked to his Washington, D.C. home with a March 2nd, 1988 birth date, just 1 day off from his real birthday.
The best part's coming up.
According to leaked data, Josh, who married his wife in 2008, was seeking a partner to cheat with who was, among other things, open to, quote, experimenting with sex toys and one-night stands.
Yeah.
This news comes on the heels of
So
Josh's
romantic.
molestation scandal back in May. It was revealed he inappropriately touched 5 young girls, including some of his own sisters.
You're cheating hard to make you weak.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that when this list came out, I actually, not only was I not on it, I hadn't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
But where was this? Why wasn't I on this when I was married?
Because why would you have to work? What, that goes against everything about cheating ever. Let's leave some paper trail. No,
Yeah.
if you're gonna cheat, you
And
don't
you
leave like an
gotta pay
account
for it
linking
and
you to it.
Put your address down. I wonder how
No.
it caught up to me. That's
Yeah,
so strange.
ridiculous.
How do you know about these cheating details, Cully?
I don't.
Oh, boy.
I didn't know about it either.
What goes into
I didn't.
hypothetically someone
Maybe.
cheating?
And rounding out our week of confessions is Colleen.
A friend was telling me. No, it's just weird.
Well, they missed the best part. Didn't you hear he paid the extra $250 for the affair guarantee?
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other. Does he have a lawsuit? Can he sue?
Yeah, he should get his $250
Yeah,
back.
that seems fair. and
Like if
legal.
you're not
Breach of
satisfied with
contract.
it, you get your
What?
money. It's a
Oh,
guaranteed.
I was thinking of the other one where you paid extra to have that all erased or secured or something.
Oh, the expungement?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now
So
these
what-
people are. There could be, what is it called when you're all together in a group lawsuit?
Oh, a class action?
Could there be a class action
Yeah,
from these
there you
cheaters?
go.
So, what was the $250 for? What does that buy you?
Guarantees.
Yeah, interested?
Oh, guarantees you'll get laid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
if you don't have an
it-
affair within 3 months,
Oh,
you get
it
like
gets you
1,000 extra
an
credits.
antibiotics.
This is hilarious. I've never even looked at the website. Is the website still up and running?
Oh, it's a $60 million+ corporation. Yeah.
Oh,
Still
my
going.
God.
There's still time for you, Chuck.
Just to poke around.
Stop
would
this
be
Tinder
funny.
stuff. Oh, yeah. Just to hypothetically, as a journalist
Yeah.
for the show.
It's research.
Are you lonely in your marriage, ladies?
So this has got to be just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's now got to be senators.
Don't say just the
and-
tip.
Podcasters, lawyers.
So Josh Dugar, and this is the family values
How
people.
are they
and-
gonna? I would love to hear how they spin this one though.
Yeah, because for a moment there, they were trying
They
to
were.
blame the media.
Yeah. Well, you're right, but they were blaming the media for revealing those girls' names, and they're victims. They shouldn't have their names put out there as
True.
all
Right.
victims.
I
It should
agree.
be that's no one's business, and that's. I could see why they were mad about that, but the parents were like, "It was when he was young, and this and that," and it's like, "Are you kidding me?" It's disgusting, and the fact that they knew that was in their history and still was like, "Let's do this show. Let's open us up to the public." If I knew that happened in my family, it would be like, "Let's lay low for the rest of our lives. Let's not be in pictures or anything."
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. You know, whatever. It's always the people who are, they put themselves up on this high and
Yeah.
mighty pedestal and they judge and judge and judge and they vote anti-gay rights and they vote anti-this and Christian that, and then they end up at the men's room airport tapping their foot trying to get a blowjob.
Who would think that a successful reality show star with all that talent
Right.
would have these problems?
Well, it's one thing if you're desperate housewives and you're getting drunk at happy hour. It's another thing to be this
Right.
up with family and all this, the world's going to hell because you're not like us.
Well, and I do
We're all
fully.
pure and-
I expect Honey Boo Boo's mom to be dating a
Yes.
child molester.
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
exactly
Yeah.
what I expect
Yeah.
from that family.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's not like he wasn't getting any at home.
Right.
Well, he has how many kids in how many months? And
Ouch.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, ouch, that poor one. He probably wasn't getting
I
it.
wonder if
Yeah.
what she's
Yeah.
gonna say, because she's had
I
to come
know.
out and defend him this last time. I wonder if this time.
DIVORSE is
I
my
bet
guess.
I'm
She's
thinking
gonna
no.
stand
Did
by
you
her
say
man.
SE?
Or is it-
You had You've had two of them. You would think you could spell them by now.
I've tried to block that. Put a mental block on that word.
That might be one of the best moments on the show.
Fine. You guys are all stupid. STUIBDE. We're running up against the break, but we got to talk about, do you have a list of laws that are going into effect or something?
I do.
We'll talk about that out of the break, all right?
All right,
Is there
sounds
some
good.
that we need to be concerned with more than others?
There is. It depends on if you like to text and drive, drink and drive.
Yes, and yes.
Pick your poison. Yeah, pick your poison.
Well then,
Yeah, do
you
both
can
at
call me.
Leave your card, would you please?
How about if we all write down our worst vice and you tell us if it's now illegal?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Third Street Brewhouse, built on a perfect site in Cold Spring, Minnesota, combining the state-of-the-art brewing facility with exceptional water. Hello, did we mention Cold Spring, Minnesota? They have a dream team of world-class brewers, resulting in unprecedented crafted beers. The core styles of Bitter Black IPA, Lost Trout Brown Ale, and Rise to the Top Cream Ale are intriguing yet satisfying. And look forward to seasonal and specialty beers. Nothing fancy, no fuss. It's all about the beer at Third Street Brewhouse. MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
The one and only Chart House. Your destination, whether dining for two, drinks with friends, or making up for that night with friends. Join us at the Chart House for brunch, dinner, or drinks.
Hi, I'm Josh Rupert, and I'd like to invite you to my restaurant, and I'll buy half your dinner. Go to charthouserestaurant.com to find out more.
Visit charthouserestaurant.com today for your special offer. And then come visit Chart House in person. Your table is waiting.
Well, let's face it, summer is short here in Minnesota, and we want to fill it up with concerts, ball games, and good times. Well, for a great night, log on to Blue and White, blueandwhitetaxi.com. Hey there, everybody, I'm Rusty Gatenby, your TV buddy, and I'm always up for a good time, but I've learned planning is part of the party. Do the pregame, do the pre-concert, and do the pre-plan. Pre-plan your ride, that is. Log on to blueandwhitetaxi.com. With the biggest fleet of taxis in town, you can enjoy every last drop of summer and get home safely and on time. No worries about money and tips. You set it all up before the fun with blueandwhitetaxi.com. Yeah, make it a great night. Log on to the Blue and White, blueandwhitetaxi.com. No shirt, no shoes? Well, that's your problem.
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show. Say it fast 3 times. We just dare you.
Time's gone inside out. Time gets to start again.
All right, so yes, we've been getting a little sneak peek at some of these laws that go into effect. And does it always happen in August that these laws go into effect every year?
Well, you have the session in the House and the Senate, and they put in new laws, and they usually go into effect in January and in August.
Okay.
So these ones are just the ones that started in August.
Ooh. I wonder if I've been unknowingly violating a new law that's in effect.
I'm going to say yes.
Does one of the laws involve a goat? See,
not
I
this
need to say.
time.
Well, yeah,
I'm totally against it.
Again.
Totally against it.
I'm against anything.
It doesn't
goating.
specify human body fluids.
Because that would be bad.
Oh my God.
All right, so what do we got? Let's read them off here and discuss. What's your first item up for bid?
The change in blood alcohol content in DWI cases. That is the big one that most people need to be aware of. It used to be 0.20 in order to change a misdemeanor to a gross misdemeanor for aggravating
0.20?
factors.
That's nothing. That's like 8 beers.
Depends on your tolerance.
Yeah.
10 beers.
Fortunately, my scenario, this was not of a concern. But what does that mean when you go to the next level? So now it's at 0.16.
It's at 0.16. A lot of people don't realize that there's different levels of DWIs.
Yeah.
There's misdemeanor, gross misdemeanor, felony, and
Bad, really bad, and oh shit.
yeah, and prison.
Yeah.
So in order to get from a misdemeanor to a gross misdemeanor, you have to have aggravating factors. Aggravating factors include prior DWIs or a higher blood alcohol content.
Why did you look at me and point when you said that?
Because of that beer in your
Because I
head.
smelled your breath? No. So aggravating factors are, so now instead of a 0.20, a 0.16 is considered an aggravating factor.
What's worse, having the, right now, I don't know if you know, having the 0.16 or having over the legal limit with kids in the car?
Well, both are
Are they
aggravating
equal?
factors. So
Yeah.
having kids in the car obviously is a bad thing, but that could be an aggravating factor. You have both; they're both could make it a gross
if you
misdemeanor.
were 0.16 and had kids in the car, does it then jump up to the third level?
Then it jumps. Then it can be a gross misdemeanor, or it depends on if you have a prior. So all of those things make it worse.
We need a chart.
Yeah.
A laminated chart
No,
for the car.
We had those in the cop shop, literally,
Yeah.
because it was
Oh,
so
yeah.
complicated.
It is complicated.
I was dating a state trooper for several years, and it was interesting. Just the scenarios I'd hear about. She would sincerely at like 7:30 in the morning, even a lady had just dropped the
Okay.
kids off to soccer or whatever. Woman's totally vodka'd up, like 2.8.
Wow.
Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd
I'm
be
like,
amazed.
Wow.
My
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah, the morning. Nice.
At least
Soccer
she got rid
went
of the kids
great.
first. yeah, soccer was
She got her
great.
kids
actually
off. They
fun
were
today.
fine. It was her downtime.
Yeah.
It was actually a fun soccer game today.
Guys
Oh
are
my
so judgy.
God, after watching fourth grade baseball,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
see why she had to
Yeah.
drink.
Oh my God.
Oh, good Lord.
Kick him in the balls, Jimmy.
Yeah, the morning
Mom,
after
if-
drunks. We used to get those all the time. It's amazing. These people drink all night. They sleep for 3 hours. I think I'm good.
Right, they do. They don't realize it takes more than 2 hours to sleep it off.
Yeah. Or, I've said this before, people would come in drunk and bail out their drunk friend all the time.
Yeah, that's...
We'd get them at the front counter.
Right.
All right, what's the next law that we may be breaking?
I love the music. Texting and driving.
Oh, that's illegal?
It's always been, though, hasn't it?
It has, but
Oh,
now there's increased fines.
Oh.
So, and a lot of people don't realize, just use your
Yeah.
wireless devices when you talk. First
Yeah.
of all, that pisses me off less and my husband.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much easier. So if you're texting and driving, the fine increases. And
To what now?
now it's $225 for second and subsequent texting while driving convictions. And even if you're just on the web or checking
Yeah.
your email or on Facebook. So, which I don't know if you see that all the time. I see it all the time.
But it's so hard. I tell you what, we used to go out and do the details to catch these people specifically. There's, I think it was April 18th or 19th was distracted driving day. We would target these people. We'd be in an unmarked car driving around, calling them in. You can't catch anyone actually doing this. I can't imagine getting
can't?
caught
Why?
and convicted twice.
You just don't see them?
Well, you see it, but it's hard to prove.
Right.
And
I always wondered because if I need to call my kids or my I have to search my contact to find that number. And I'm like, if I
Yeah.
got
In
pulled over
Siri.
right now, I totally look like I'm texting.
Yeah.
Well, there's two.
But I'm looking for a number.
What if you do Siri, though? Don't you have that?
I don't have a fancy phone. No, I don't know how
You
to.
need to
flip
upgrade. So would that mean that they're biased towards Apple users?
Oh,
suppose.
yeah. Is there a
Oh,
little?
the Senate.
Yeah. Oh, the Senate.
But if I
Big
were to
Apple
get
money.
pulled over and you were texting, and am I able to say no? I was actually looking up a phone contact.
You could, because
there's
Well, you're going
no-
to get shot in the face. That's what's going to happen.
because they're biased against what, black people and
Straight outta-
Rusty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rusty looks pretty black.
Straight out of
He
Minnetonka.
does when he's tan.
Yeah.
We're hopping into the red there, Joe.
And then my favorite new law is the adulteration of body fluids. Which,
are
you know,
you
is
listening?
trouble.
Are you listening, Jared?
Yes. This is my favorite. This is
This is
based-
my favorite.
This is my favorite. If anyone out there is charged with this, please call me and I'll take your case for free.
Can the government just stay out of my life?
This is based on a case from 2013 where a man gave his coworker coffee because he had a crush on her. And
it's very sweet of him.
yeah, I know, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know why you
Rusty,
gave me coffee.
Rusty,
He didn't like
Here
punch
you
her
go.
in the shoulder awkwardly or pull her hair. He took it to the next level.
Well, you had to pass her a note.
Yeah.
Here, everyone, take your mug of coffee. I've made you all coffee. Here you go.
I know, mine tastes a little funny.
Do you like Jared? Check
It tastes like
yes
pineapple.
or no.
Why does this coffee taste like asparagus?
And enjoy your coffee.
Why do you know it tastes like that?
Well, the thing is that she didn't notice for she thought it tasted funny. And after about 6 months.
Oh.
Wait, how does that happen? I mean, how do you...
Oh, I thought this was
go
one
on.
time.
No, this is a
Oh.
real story.
Yeah.
So after 6 months, she thought it tasted a little funny. And then, wouldn't you go
Hold
get
on.
it
She was
yourself?
drinking coffees for 6 months, or the one cup she realized 6 months later?
No, she was drinking coffees for 6 months.
Oh my
months
God, she's gonna have a stomach baby.
jizz blood?
Coffee of
Stomach baby.
the coffee of the month club.
Yeah.
Like this one.
Wouldn't you go get it yourself then? So
the
after
amaretto almond was horrible.
She kept coming back for more.
6 months. Seriously, if Jared
months.
Fogle gave me coffee for 6 months, I might.
She didn't go every
Think
day.
there's something
She'd
wrong.
go in spurts.
Oh, oh God!
I think we should put 30 seconds on the
This
clock.
coffee
and see how
is
many we
frothy.
get.
Oh.
And then after 6 months, she noticed he had a deer in the headlights look on his face while he was standing at her desk. And she noticed a little spot of fluid on her desk.
He was showing his O face. That's what that was.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said it tasted a little like urine. And discovered that.
How did she know that?
I know.
Wow.
I have no
Really?
idea what urine tastes like.
And how do you not know? Well, that's
Yeah.
personal. But so they
Well,
finally.
I'm married. I don't know what that tastes like.
I don't mean either.
Women.
Stop, you two.
So they finally.
there's a new drug for you two.
Yeah.
Just
They
talked about it
finally
yesterday.
discovered that he had been ejaculating in her coffee.
What a dick.
I know. So the problem is so they charged him with a sex crime, and it was dismissed because he didn't actually touch her.
Ah.
So they made a
He admitted
new
it was,
law.
He admitted it was a mistake. He pulled a boner. So
Oh, God's sake.
Oh my goodness.
What?
You're on fire.
Well, it's still not as gross as the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks.
Oh, good point. Yeah, actually,
What happened to that? It's just a pumpkin spice latte.
that's just gross.
Oh.
Well, can you imagine when the police caught him? They're like, we caught you white-handed.
Oh my God, this show.
They're like handed him the cuffs on a stick. You cuff yourself. I don't want to. I don't want to touch you. You're gross.
Well, what do you think he said to her when he gave her the coffee? Here's a cup of Joe with a teaspoon of Rusty.
But your name's Bill.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You probably want to go out to the smoke break after your coffee. I'll be out there.
Enjoy your mouth herpes. That's coming next.
Oh wow! So though, all right, those are those the three big ones? How many laws are going into effect? Is there like hundreds or a handful?
A couple dozen. There's the blue law, which is a new.
No blue man groups allowed.
Yeah, no. It's the way to disseminate information.
Disseminate.
Yeah. But
Oh my goodness.
disseminate information.
Rusty's like a 12-year-old boy over there. He's like, I got another one.
It takes a lot of balls to do this show.
Oh, for God's sake.
Speaking of laws, did you hear about the Friends scene that was deleted that has gone viral?
No.
There was a scene from Friends that back in the, must have been before 9/11. But listen to this scene they decided to delete, and it's obvious why.
Hey, look at that. Federal law prohibits any joking regarding aircraft hijacking or bombing. You don't have to worry about me, ma'am. I take my bombs very seriously.
Sir, you want to come with us?
No, wait. Wait, I know the sign says no jokes about bombs, but shouldn't the sign really say no bombs? I mean, isn't that the guy we really have to worry about here? The guy with the bombs? Not the guy who jokes about his bombs? Not that I have bombs, but if I did, I probably wouldn't joke about them. I'd probably want to keep that rather quiet.
Well, do something.
You want us to break down your door?
Yes.
Anyway, you can see why they cut the scene, but now it's gone viral. Weird how that happens, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really though? Why would you
No.
cut that?
They were all-
I don't know.
Wasn't that offensive?
No.
No.
We're all so delicate.
That
these
show
days.
was offensive. I'm the only person I know who didn't like that show. Never
I
did.
I had to. I was a girl in my 20s. I had to like it.
Yeah.
I stumbled across it the first season before anyone was talking about it. And I liked Joey and Chandler's
Chandler,
quit. And Ron. I thought I liked it.
Yeah.
Chuck, was it you that was poo-pooing the Ice Buck Challenge, by the way?
Yes. Oh, God, is it back? Yes, it's back.
Here, Chuck, listen to this, you hater.
Well, good morning. When the ice bucket frenzy first erupted, critics wrote it off as social media slacktivism, letting people feel good about a cause without actually achieving anything. Well, it turns out they were wrong.
And by they, we mean Chuck.
More than 17 million people rose to the challenge last year, getting soaked in the name of charity. Celebrities. LL Challenge. Presidents.
George W.
Even Kermit the Frog helped raise more than $220 million to fight ALS. As many as 30,000 Americans have been diagnosed with this degenerative disease. Now researchers at Johns Hopkins University say some of that money has helped them better understand a protein in the brain which is dysfunctional in nearly all ALS cases.
Anyway, it goes on to say in the 2-month period last summer when it was like really peaking, they raised $115 million with this silly stunt. And as he said there, $220 million directly accredited to this silly ice bucket challenge. And it has started again, but it didn't really catch traction.
Oh, did they try to?
Yeah, they tried to do it again, but I think that was
kind of like
global
that
warming.
Lightning strike kind of thing.
Obama.
See, you hater. It actually did,
I
did good.
I like the cause, and I like giving my... I'm just so tired of those stupid videos. I just can't stand it.
But if it's... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There were some that were fun. There were some creative ones.
Yeah.
Chuck, you are as cold as ice.
Thank you.
You're as cold as ice.
Foreigner. You know it's a good show when you can sneak Foreigner in.
I love Foreigner.
How about David Bowie? Do you like David Bowie?
Yeah.
Heard of him?
Huh?
I've heard of him.
How much do you love David Bowie?
I don't know what he do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid to say I really
I know,
like
it's
him.
scary.
Does he like kids?
A professor, this is from Rolling Stone, a professor from England's Kingston University will be dressing as David Bowie for the next year in an effort to better understand the elusive rock star. Along with Bowie's unique garb, film, and cultural studies, Professor Will Brooker will also method act personas like Ziggy Stardust and the Thin White Duke, fully immersing himself into their inherent Bowie-ness.
Okay.
Sounds like a kind of guy you wouldn't want to hang out with.
Way to make class uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, oh, God,
Hey, you taking
not
that
you
class?
again? Oh, it's Ziggy Stardust today.
Catch this. As part of his immersion, the professor has also adopted Bowie's strange dietary habits. The milk and red peppers he infamously lived off of during the 70s. I did not know that.
What?
Milk and red peppers.
They're good.
Are the kids even going to know who that is?
Yeah, good point.
They're just going to think he's
It sounds like
screwed up.
It sounds like a fetish to me, and he's looking for a reason
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
able to take it out on the public. He really is. I feel like it's kind of a weird.
Wonder what
fetish
enrollment in
thing.
his class is going to look like. I wouldn't. How can you take him seriously as a prof, too?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is going to be
What does he teach?
Oh,
Crazy.
Math.
Yeah.
Algebra 2.
Sex ed.
Oh, what does he teach? It doesn't say.
Women's studies or something just messed up.
Well, it would make sense, but I bet it. Yeah, what a goofy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not really. I'm showing.
Looks like a movie
showing
theater
a
shooter.
picture.
Doesn't he?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
fabulous.
He looks like the movie. The Colorado movie theater shooter.
Yeah, he totally does.
No.
Wow.
We'll have to Google Will Brooker and see what he teaches.
Let's get him on the show.
Yeah. What's your favorite Bowie?
I like Suffragette City. That's a good one. I like that song. I do like him. I liked it when he did the duet with Bing Crosby, the little drummer boy.
Oh, that's
Remember
a great
that?
one.
Yeah.
It is a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
My grandma used to sing that to me. No.
No? I love it.
So what are you working on now in the law world? Any
good cases? Give us some dirt. Are they guilty? Are they guilty? Are they guilty?
You can't discuss cases though, can you?
It really depends. I do have a .2995 DWI going on right now.
Wow.
So that'll be a fun one. Again.
Yeah.
Legally dead.
No.
Legally
it's a couple. It's like 12, 20 beers.
But that's the thing. What
20
is
beers.
like .08? To me, that could be just a drink. I
Yeah.
just get nervous about it. It's,
.08 is waking up.
Yeah,
What are you talking
I don't
about?
know.
It's my operating temp.
I did a show once at a country club. I can't remember. It was over out west somewhere. But after the show, all the people had their own breathalyzers, and they were checking their own.
When you're that
alcohol.
close, you should probably find
I've
a cab.
always thought that'd be interesting to have, though. Although calibration is probably an issue. I suppose they're gotta
Right.
have getting pulled over. I already took my breathalyzer, officer. I'm clearly not drunk.
They'll take
Where
your
are my
word for it.
pants?
Yeah.
I used to love having one of those. I'd take home car with that thing in the trunk, and let's just see how things are going. But it gives you a pretty good gauge.
Does everybody do the same thing when they get their breathalyzer? Do they do the
Yeah.
breathing in? They're like, breathe harder. I am. It's as hard as it goes.
And they'll puff their cheeks out, and I am blowing. No, there's no air coming out. That means you're.
So I'm innocent. Okay, have a nice night,
All right,
officer.
thank you.
You totally
I
fooled
believe
me.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Thanks.
dumb.
I'm totally good.
What is the craziest defense that you've heard of, even as a prosecutor or or defender? Is there people that come up just wild tales like, "Oh, UFO abducted me. I wasn't there."
Yeah, you get some pretty interesting cases. Some of my favorite one as a prosecutor was this guy who went to a bar, and he was actually a victim. He went to a VFW, and as he was driving away, he was at the stop sign in front of the VFW, and a woman knocks on his window and asks if she can get a ride home. And apparently she's a very attractive young woman.
Oh.
So
At the
he's-
VFW.
At the VFW. Well, everything's relative.
It is.
She had most of her teeth.
So for some reason, he decides to take her home, and they get back to his house, and they go up to his bedroom, and she says she's going to go in the bathroom and slip into something comfortable. He gets in his room and proceeds to get undressed and takes off his prosthetic leg.
I was going to say that about her. It's so funny that you said that.
And she comes out of the bathroom and sees his pants on the floor and takes the keys out of his pants and runs downstairs and steals his car. Well, by the time he gets his leg on to go chase her, she's gone. So that was one of my stolen vehicle cases.
Did she get busted?
She did get busted.
Wouldn't you? I don't know. If I were that guy, I'd be like, I'm not going to take
Yeah.
this to the cop. You can have my car.
Yeah.
I don't want this story getting out.
Keep the car.
Well, 80% of the cases that I prosecuted were because the defendants would talk to the police. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that was your experience,
Oh,
but
yeah.
most of the cases were because people
Yep.
would just puke up their guts
Yeah.
and
You have
tell-
the right to remain silent. Okay, well, let's talk.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when I talked to the cops and they'd call and say, I'm so nervous about reading people their Miranda rights because then they won't talk. I'd tell them, no. I mean,
Yeah.
don't be nervous. I mean, even some of my clients that I have now, that the first thing I tell them, and on the back of my card, it says, well, it doesn't say shut the hell up,
Yeah.
but it should.
Yeah.
Because people will talk. And I
Yeah.
tell my clients, just tell them to call me.
Yep.
But people will talk, and you have the right to remain silent. Use it.
Right.
I don't understand why people don't.
I had Steve Meshbesher come in the lobby, and I was in charge of the jail at the time. And he came in the lobby, and we had a dude who raped his teenage neighbor. And he agreed to talk to the detective, so they were interrogating him. And Meshbesher shows up, and the request for counsel is such that if you request it, you get your lawyer. But the lawyer can't show up and say, I want to go see my client who's in the middle of an interrogation. It has to come from the client. So Meshbesher's like, yeah, I want to see my client. He's talking to us right now. You have to wait. And Meshbesher goes, no, I want to see my client. I go, you don't get to. He's confessing everything right now. He was just livid. But, yeah.
There's been plenty of times where I've called the cops and I've said, I represent so-and-so. Stop talking to him now. And, when they're juveniles, a lot of times then they respect that. And so,
So how does that work? So why, if they have the wherewithal to call their lawyer, why are they then talking to the cops?
If I had an answer to that,
Yeah, isn't that
I
amazing?
would be
That's
driving
weird.
something better than I'm driving now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And to everyone out there, stop talking.
Yeah, that seems bizarre. Like, I want my lawyer.
On behalf
While
of
we're
the-
waiting for him, I've got a few things I want to get off my chest.
Really?
On
I mean,
behalf
I
of the
don't-
prosecution side, though, keep talking. Really, it makes you feel better. Get it off your chest. Just talk to us. We're people. You can talk to us.
Well, Jennifer, we have killed an entire hour. If one of us were to get in trouble, how do we get a hold of you for our defense?
Definitely. Give me a call. Put it in your phone. You never know when you'll need it. 612-968-1278 or casanovalaw.com.
And we'll have that information on our website and the Facebook and such. Cool. We're on our way to the Chart House again this afternoon.
Yeah. We have a
Sun is
return
out.
special guest.
Nicole Remini will be joining us again, and we'll always have live music and more fun stuff to talk about.
3rd Street Brew House.
3rd Street Brew House will be on special there, and you can hop in a blue and white taxi, set it up so you can. The band plays till like 9:30 at night, so you can sit there and enjoy the. We don't have many days left of Minnesota summer, and then hop in your blue and white taxi and head home.
It is going to be a perfect day, like 70, 72
I thought
degrees.
your return special guest was the sun and the warmth. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that too.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And then congratulations to Kelly Clarkson on our show now 2 days in a row. She's having her second child.
Yeah. Big crybaby.
Do not drink vodka and drive your 2 kids around, Kelly. It's not legal.
All right. Gross, Mr.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for coming. Well, we'd love to have you back.
I'd love to come back.
Okay, cool. We'll see everyone this afternoon at the Chart House in Lakeville. Twin Cities Hit Show. Later.
Baby, I am ready.